Good evening, or yeah. See, I got a little bit of a problem right now. I actually have a few different video ideas that I want to be doing on this Involved Idahoan channel, but whenever I have the time to do them, I don't have the energy to do them, and it's becoming it's becoming a worsening problem. But I'm walking home at night. It's about 10 p.m. or so. In fact, it's probably a quarter after by now. But anyway, one of the video ideas that I have, I think I can just knock out right now, as soon as I can get the lighting right. But how the heck can I get the lighting right when I'm moving? I'm just walking home, you know. One of the videos that I wanted to do, that I think I can knock out really quickly if I try, is one I want to call "Good Chairmen Don't Command, They Serve." And I think I've said that line a few times on my channel in different contexts, probably about a certain person and situation recently. Probably. It fits way too well with him. But I figured, you know what, actually, you know, there's a few different times where that line would have really fit, especially with the bad ones. So I'm gonna go through my own political experience and say, you know, go through the bad chairman in my experiments. I guess that video idea was. Well, see, I like to reference the story a lot, especially with the local bylaw archive, or just sometimes this is also the root cause of why I do this or that in a particular way in the local party. But here, let's see if this works. So this is the first meeting that I ever went to as a precinct committeeman. This was the District 17 reorg meeting in 2016. This is a few nights before the county one, right? Okay, so the first chairman I had for about 20 minutes before we elected a new one. And the whole story behind that, I've told it before. One Ken Burgess. And not only is he a known establishment hack, and also went to the University of Idaho, so that's also another strike against him. That's not a serious one, though. But that dude, bad chairman, and deserving to, I wish I'd thought of it at the time to say, good chairmen don't command, they serve, is, well, he had a pretty bad grasp of the rules, and on top of that, he made up some rules to try to cover for that. And you could argue that he actually kind of succeeded at covering his own failings in this. Well, as the rest of my story on goes, well, we elected somebody else anyway. But that's the first bad chairman I ever had to deal with. The second is, of course, the infamous Becky Young. And there are quite a few things that went wrong with her tenure, especially that happened right at around the time where the new delegate selection rules were now the new delegate selection rules for Ada that were put in March 2016. They don't have much to do with a lot of her failings, but one, she's an awful person. I mean, let's just get that out of the way. She is definitely an awful person. Very much a top-down kind of way of working through things, so inherently un-Republican. And oh yeah, so like at the close of that reorg meeting, remember the 2016 reorg meeting for Ada County, it's the night I like to refer to as the night of 1,000 stories, because like a bunch of different things happened in parallel, different separate stories in their own rights about different things. Well, one of these little stories is, in fact, the meeting had just adjourned, and I'm approached by somebody in a large lady in a pink shirt, probably good 3 decades my senior. She tells me something to relay to my good friend Ryan Davidson. And so I do this, but I make fun of the message. I make fun of the way she told me the message. And I make fun of her for probably being an establishment stooge. Now, this was not a good idea, obviously, you know, because right behind me was one Becky Young, where she had assumed, for whatever reason, that I was talking about her and looked like she was ready to just rip into me. And she had just accused me of this, and you know, and Brock Fraser and Ryan Davidson are standing like right there. They're seeing this too, and so I can only eke out like 2 words to try to defend myself. Luckily, they were the correct 2 words. I said pink shirt. She was not wearing a pink shirt, but it definitely gave me good instruction on how willing she was to just fly off the handle at a moment's notice at any perceived slight. Kind of sounds familiar too, but anyway. But the tenure of Becky Young was marred by a lot of little stories like that, and where her ego would bruise pretty easily, and on top of that, she was failing both with running meetings. She wasn't good at that, and definitely not good at fundraising. In fact, she made a lot of Ada County's problems a lot more worse than they were and needed to be. See, I'm crossing a street right now. Okay, so I'm gonna have to walk slowly because this, anyway, so, bad chairmen don't command, they serve well. She was very, very top down. And she even threatened to illegally axe the resolutions committee that I was on at the time, just because she wasn't able to get to a restaurant on time one time. And she was apparently miffed about the concept of jury nullification. So, no, the story behind that whole saga, of jury nullification resolutions, I should tell that story at some point. But anyway, so, and then Becky Young's behavior got to be worse, as I frequently tell the story. And not only that, but there were meetings in which she just simply wouldn't show up. Now, she's the chair of the Ada County GOP at this time. And she was not only not communicating with people, she wasn't showing up. Apparently, some people could get through to her, and the relayed excuse had something to do with her injured children, and that's why she was not in the area. And we would find out later that not only was she actually in the area, but said children weren't injured. So yeah, that's a fun one. And I don't know exactly how this little tiny part of the story happened, but allegedly, someone sent an anonymous letter to her, apparently certified, but somehow with no name. Now, how do you send a certified letter without a name, though? I don't know. She apparently read this letter and immediately resigned. Apparently, this had some threats about what people were going to do if she didn't resign. And this letter apparently outlined a lot of her bad behaviors. So that's allegedly what happened. Now, as soon as that happened, now, I remember how happy I was on the day I was informed that she had just resigned, and it was about a month later, and I think this is like the 6th anniversary of it too tonight, where about a month later we elected a good friend of mine, that very same Ryan Davidson. Good dude. So continuing on with the bad chairman theme here, all right? Because, good chairmen don't command, they serve. See, another one. Now, this dude isn't nearly as bad because a lot of his failings could just simply be attributed to cluelessness. Like, legitimately, like he didn't know what was actually happening and what motivations people had for this, that, and the other. But Dan Minert, he was one of the people that came in on the wave of the Make Ada Great Again cult with Victor Miller, Tracy Kalish, Ed Humphreys. And he also couldn't run a meeting all that well. He took credit for other people's work, just like Victor would. And, well, I'm almost home, so I'm going to stop here for a moment. He didn't put in the time to necessarily be informed about what was happening with a lot of internal matters with the Republican Party. And on top of that, he let himself be lied to about certain matters of fact, law, and what rules actually say, to the point where he was complicit in handing over a proxy to Victor Miller when there was a couple of different reasons why he couldn't. One, he is a district chairman. District chairmen can't hand their proxies to county chairmen. They can only do it upstream, which in that case would have been the Region 4 chairman, who was in northern Idaho at the time campaigning for a failed governor candidacy. And two, you don't need a proxy if a vice chairman is present. Now, that vice chairman happened to be me at the time, and I had just traveled at no small personal sacrifice to be there. So there was that. So yeah, he's another one. Now, of course, I just blew past a very great example of one. That would, of course, be Victor Miller. Now, things that I'll let the record stand on exactly what I think of the man and put that in place of why I believe and I know that Victor Miller is a bad chairman. But he's very much like Becky Young, but with the important difference that he was able to fundraise. And he was also a dude who had a lot less of a spine. Now, one very related example of a bad chairman was, of course, one Tom Luna. And I think the record in both of the Idaho Republican Party and in the news cycle for those years also speak for themselves on exactly how bad of a chairman he is, or was, rather, whatever the proper tense is on that. But yeah, Tom Luna, obviously a top-down kind of person, and the dude even sued a county party over a matter that really should have just simply been handled internally. I mean, you are not the serving kind of chairman if you do those kinds of things. Especially how the 2022 convention was handled, because there are a lot of things in which he could have been a little bit more involved and solved problems before they happened. Especially that lunch debacle. But anyway, I need to go inside. It's not terribly cold out here, but I need to go inside. And I can't think of any others right now, so I'm just going to cut this off here. And if I think of anything else, I'll just tack it on the end. But if not, if everything's done, then I'll just say blessings.